your baby is sucking and is paining you, then the baby is not properly latched, you might want to use that trick, remove your nipple from the baby's mouth, reposition your baby and try again, right? Till your baby is sucking and you're not feeling any pain. When you don't feel pain, then it's a good sign that the baby is properly latched. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another exciting episode of New Mom with Dr. O. You already know, yeah. And today we're still talking more and more about breastfeeding, just because I said I'm an advocate of breastfeeding. If you are a breastfeeding mom or someone that has ever breastfed before, you know that one of the horrors of breastfeeding is something that we call breast engorgement. For those of you that have never heard of that term before, breast engorgement is when there's like an excess buildup of milk in your breast. So basically, it's like your breast is over full, like it has gotten full to the maximum capacity and it's still filling up. It's just like blowing a balloon and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're still filling it and you're still pumping, that kind of thing. So what happens is that when your breasts are so full, sometimes they get so hard, like you touch it and it's so hard, and not only is it hard, it's painful. That is one of the most painful things you can ever experience. I kid you not, right? And then your breast becomes sensitive. Just any small touch is paining, especially the nipple area to be so sensitive. It's like even wearing a bra is painful. Anything just touching it is painful, right? Trust me, you don't want your breast to get engorged to that level. Engorgement is a good thing. It means that your body is producing milk like normally and regularly. So you're not thinking like, oh, I don't have milk. No, in your own case, you have excess milk. And there's some things that can cause it, right? If your baby is not sucking as much, so your breast is producing milk, but your baby is not sucking as much, then you have engorgement. Or if you're a working mom, you normally breastfeed when you're with your baby, but when you're away at work the whole day, 6 hours, 7 hours, nobody is sucking that breast. It's just going to be big and painful, right? Especially if you don't have the chance, you're not one that has the chance of like pumping when you're at work, right? Not everyone has that luxury, because even if you pump, where are you going to store it, right? At work and all that. So you just go the whole day with engorged breast. Like in the morning you're okay, but by afternoon and towards the end of work, you're just like, your chest is heavy, and people don't understand what you're going through, because trust me, you need to experience it to understand it. Trust me, I feel your pain and I'm here for you. So basically, I'm going to talk about breast engorgement, what really causes, which I just literally mentioned, and like how to deal with it, right? How do you deal with the pain that comes with breast engorgement, and how can you prevent it from occurring frequently, right? So number one, when baby is not sucking well, your breast may tend to be engorged. So like if it's not like you are working or you are away from your baby and you feel like your baby is sucking regularly, but the breast is still getting engorged, it might be that your baby is not getting enough. So you might want to check the position of your baby, your breastfeeding position, and make sure that the baby is latching properly, right? Latching means that your baby is actually putting their mouth on the breast, positioning their mouth on the breast, like around your nipple, the right way. If they're not positioning it the right way, they won't be able to suck adequately. So you have to be sure that the baby is positioned. And one of the ways you can know that your baby is well positioned is that when your baby is sucking, it's not painful. The moment your baby is sucking and your nipples are paining you, that's if you have cuts or anything, then of course that explains the pain. But let's say everything is fine, no cuts, no nothing, and your baby is sucking and is paining you, that baby is not well positioned, he's not latching properly. You might want to remove your nipple. So one trick for removing your nipple from your baby's mouth, especially when your baby starts having teeth, just place your finger right in between the baby's gums, right? Just put your finger in the baby's mouth, in between the baby's gums, and scoop out your nipple, right? That way there's no harm done, no teeth is going to scratch you, no gum is going to, because some babies are very mischievous. Even when they don't have teeth, they'll use that gum and bite it very well. Like, did I offend you? Why did you do that? So that's a trick for removing your nipple from the baby's mouth. So basically, if your baby is sucking and is paining you, then the baby is not properly latched, you might want to use that trick, remove your nipple from the baby's mouth, reposition your baby and try again, right? Till your baby is sucking and you're not feeling any pain. When you don't feel pain, then it's a good sign that the baby is properly latched. So make sure your baby is properly latched whenever you're breastfeeding, so your baby can suck out as much milk as your baby needs. Then the next thing you need to notice is that you need to feed frequently. So feed your baby as frequently and as often as possible, of course, because the best way to relieve engorgement is to remove the milk Either the baby sucks or you use a pump to remove it, but that milk must go out. If not, that pain is not going to stop and you're going to be having serious headaches. So just make sure the baby is sucking. Even if the baby does not feel like sucking, drag the baby, bring the baby. You must suck today. You must want to suck by force, because hey, I cannot stay in this pain. So me and you are going to suck today. So give the baby, encourage the baby to suck as frequently as possible. The next one, do not give your baby formula feeds. If you are strictly breastfeeding, especially if you are exclusively breastfeeding, don't give your baby formula feeds, because some babies it's easier to, let me tell you, for babies there's something. So taking from the breast is actually suckling, taking from the bottle is actually sucking, and sucking is way easier than suckling, because sucking, the bottle is giving it to you, you just have to do it small and the milk will come. But breast, they need extra effort to actually pull that milk out of your breast. So if they see bottle and they see breast, more often than not they prefer to take from the bottle, because it's easier for them, right? Except you're someone that already trained your baby and your baby is so used to breast, that kind of baby will throw bottle away. So anyway, don't supplement for formula feeds as much as you can. If they're past 6 months, give them other things, but when it comes to milk, let it be just breast milk, so that they're dependent on only the breast milk and they want to suck all the time. So even if they don't feel like sucking, if they want to take bottle, pump out for them and put it in the bottle. That way you're relieved, right? So if they say, oh, I don't want to suck, I prefer bottle, pump out, pour the milk inside the bottle, let them suck. But that way you are relieved. So that's one thing. And another thing is, people normally give their babies these pacifiers a lot, and you tend to find out that sometimes that can replace sucking the breast for them, right? Like, because sometimes it's not every time babies are hungry they suck. Sometimes they just want to suck just for a snack, right? So they would rather be sucking on their pacifier rather than sucking on breast milk, and then your breasts are just getting full and pain. They are just in pain for nothing. Throw the pacifier away. I didn't say that. And then give the baby your breast to suck, so that it can relieve you. And again, if the baby doesn't want to suck, you don't have to force the baby, just express it, right? And store it. Whenever the baby is ready, they can always drink it later when you're not around, or when you're sleeping, someone else can help to feed your baby. So now we've talked about how to prevent it from happening, but let's even say it happens, because of course it's not every time you can prevent it. Like when you're at work and stuff like that, you can't really prevent it. So when you now have that painful breast engorgement, what can you do? Because breast engorgement, one of the complications is that if it happens frequently, if it continues, it can actually lead to something called mastitis, right? That's inflammation of the breast tissue. That can be really painful, and then sometimes it could even get infected, so you will need to be placed on antibiotics and all that. So you don't want to go through all that. So one of the ways that you can help to treat breast engorgement, number one, express your milk. So even if the baby is not ready to suck, right, you help yourself, go and get breast pump, express everything, put it in and store it for the baby. When it's ready, you take it. Nobody can come and stress you, like you don't want to suck, therefore I should be suffering. No, nothing like that. Express everything out and go and keep it somewhere. That's number one. And if you are the kind of person that you're lucky that you have a private place at work, so you could also do that, express at work. And if you have a freezer or a fridge where you can store it at work, all well and good, you can get your storage bags and put it in the fridge. Till the time to go home, you pack it in a freezer bag and take it home. Or unfortunately, if you don't have such storage at work, if you express, you're going to have to throw it away, but better than you being in pain, right? So just dispose of it carefully and discreetly. Now the next thing is breast massage. So you might find out that sometimes this baby is sucking, but baby is not getting out enough milk, right? So when you massage your breast while you're breastfeeding, so yeah, massage means like you're holding your breast, right, in between your index finger and your thumb, and as the baby is feeding, massage it. So you're pressing all the milk ducts down to help to push the milk down, right, so that the baby can actually suck. That helps. Also, it's not just when the baby is sucking, even when you're pumping, when you massage the breast, it will help the milk to come out more. So you see all those places that feel hard, like feel a bit hard, you feel all those lumpy areas, massage them down, massage them so all the milk inside them can go out, rather than them forming those lumps that you normally feel, right? So breast massage is another thing that helps. Another thing is taking a warm cloth, right? When you place a warm cloth over the breast, warmth actually helps that milk to flow. Have you noticed that when you're in the shower, especially when you're taking in a hot shower, maybe your milk might not have been leaking before, but the moment you enter that bathroom like this, milk will start leaking. Sometimes it will even be spraying, like it will be doing milky showers itself. So warmth actually helps that milk, it helps the milk let down, it helps the milk to flow. So when you're trying to get rid of that milk, a warm towel, placing it over the breast can actually help to, drain the milk. And lastly, if all else fails, just take painkillers, right? Take painkillers, if you don't have access to a breast pump, because the number one gold standard, the thing that will help you to get rid of all that milk with the breast pump or the baby sucking. But if that's not available and all these other remedies fail, just take pain reliever, right? So that your head will not explode. Just take that pain reliever. Even still be relieved first before you see your baby or you see breast pump or something that can help you. But breast engorgement is most common when you just give birth, when the body is really producing a lot of milk and the baby is still learning to suck and all that, right? But it can happen at any time during the breastfeeding phase, even when you're towards the end, because if the baby doesn't suck, then it will get engorged. So the trick is, the more frequently the baby sucks, the less likely that you're going to have engorgement. But if your baby doesn't suck, chances are your breasts are going to get engorged anytime soon. And this breast engorgement is also common for people that are trying to wean their baby off breastfeeding. When you have stopped feeding your baby and you're like, okay, no, even though some babies will never want to stop, but you have to say like, no more breasts, right? So your breast will not be getting engorged and you'll be tempted to want to give the baby. No, instead of giving the baby, just pump out the breast milk and throw it away. But the thing is that when you're weaning your baby, you're only pumping out the breast milk to the level where you don't feel any pain anymore, right? You're not pumping frequently, because you're pumping frequently means that baby is still sucking and your body will not stop producing milk. But when you are only pumping out maybe once a day or twice a day, just so that you'll be relieved of the pain, then after a while the breast milk will stop. So I'm talking to those that are weaning their baby of breast milk. But for you that are still breastfeeding, make sure the baby is sucking. Anytime the baby cannot suck, pump out and store, and you can pump as frequently as you want, because you're still breastfeeding and you don't want the milk to stop. I hope you got the point there, right? The more baby sucks, the less engorged your breasts are. That's the balanced equation that you always need to remember when you think about breast engorgement. The more milk is out of your breast, the less pain you feel. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button, make sure you subscribe and share this video with anyone you think needs to see this. Like I always say, being a new mom can be a little overwhelming, but trust me, your kids are totally worth it. See you next week.